I made the sound gate a bit more lenient. I think the noise suppression is pretty good now. I have some food, I have some coffee, so we can dive back in this again. I think actually I explained stuff pretty decently. I was afraid I would use a lot of stopping words, but it's not that bad. Let's see. Right, so this format thing, right? This is a way of unifying symbols with types. Because a symbol is a data kind, which means, else basically data kinds extension, which allows us to put data constructors at type level. So blah is 1, 2. We can now do type t is 1. So we can put data values at type level, but the kind of it remains the data value, which, well, is bad because now we can't make instances on it. So we use this to make this the same thing, and then we use this mechanism to put it in a list. And we need a type level list because then we can pattern match on it with instances, right? Does it compile? Was I not lying? Actually, this is how I learned Haskell, right? Like, I just try stuff out and then see if it complains. It's a very slow process, but it works. Like, the funny thing is that, like, often you'll end up with code which is like, you're looking at it and think this should not work, and it works, which is nice. Type safety, man, allows us to do complex stuff. Right, it's being slow as fuck, but I think it worked. Right, it compiled it. So the reason why this is slow is because it has to enter the Nix shell first. Actually, I should show the code of this thing. It's pretty. I have it online actually. I have this awesome project. It's the same. So I got kind of annoyed by the Haskell ecosystem and their build stuff. So I made my own little thing, I suppose. This file watch script, just a bunch of shell stuff with a Nix integration, and this is completely platform independent if you're on Linux. But what I mean to say is it will install its own software, so it will work on Ubuntu, it will work on Debian, and it will work on whatever, as long as there's Nix and you're on Linux. So it's really not platform independent, but it's close enough for me. I don't know, I don't really care about other operating systems, so just forget about those. Moving on, I explained this. We use type family template to put stuff in template prime, so we'll make a list out of it, right? So if you already have a list of formats, here you're already a template prime, you can just use yourself, because this type specification of A. If you're just a single format, okay, we'll put you in a list, then you're also a template prime. If you're a type, then we'll make you go to format, and this is done below here, to format. So we'll just put you in the right data constructor. Right, this is like type level thing I just showed. This is the data kind thing I just showed. And if you're a symbol, we'll also make you go to format and put you in the list. So this is what this thing does, right? Put all the anything that goes in here will become a template, which is a list format. This is a constructor to do list concatenation, and we're mostly interested in this one, which allows us to pattern match on the list itself. So we'll destroy the. We'll show this below. Right. This is the concatenation of templates. I just talked about this. And this is the type level concatenation of templates. Also same. Right. So this thing is for representing types as text. We currently, in the standard library, there exists a way to do this as a string, but the show mechanism is not intended for displaying to users. So I created a new type class for this. And aside from that show shouldn't be used for user messages, this thing also allows us to implement it for a type and have a different value type. So the thing we put in the type level list, as show for example, we don't have to put a value as show in here. We don't have to do this, because the instance of as show will automatically pattern match on that. So we have the as show instance here, and we say, yeah, I know that you're an as show combinator, but I'm only interested in what's inside of the as show. So this thing is only a type level thing, and we can make an instance for it even though it's only a type level thing. So the value will become integer, right? Because we use print value in here, and the return value is put in here. So that's the third argument. See, it's this one. I show integer, integer, and then the argument we are expecting in the function we are building is here. Which actually you need to look at this class for that. The result is what we're interested in, and in this case it will become integer text. Because we have nothing, we are by default a text, and if we have an extra argument like this, as show, we expect another argument to finish the sentence. And this allows us to do concatenation. Okay, right, so this is actually the class that combines everything, right? The I18N. We got a language, we get a format, and we get a result. And we have dependency that the language and the format will tell us how the result looks. That's what this does. So we are dependent on these two to indicate this one. And because we put this restriction on ourselves, we can have more freedom in the instances. We don't get undecidable instances as quickly. So the first instance is if we have an empty template, then we know what to do. We namely will use the previous thing that was put into us, and we always know this is a text. Right, so like this works a bit weird, right? Because we are building the wrong way around. We are going through this type level list, instance by or element by element, and we're putting the result in this text value, which we will eventually use in this case, the base case, I suppose. We'll use that as a result argument. And we have to do it like this because we don't know the return type. Right, because the return type is res, which is well, only known in this case because we're empty. We have matched on everything. Right, so the second one is for literals, and literals is easy because we just pull out the symbol value and translate it. So we use the message type family to do translation. And we know that translation is a known symbol. And because we know it's a known symbol, we can use a symbol value on the translation, which will return a string and we'll pack it into a text, which will produce the next value, which we put inside of the trans function, which will eventually end up in here. Next we go onto the case where it's a type. And if it's a type, we don't know what to do. And that's why we introduced the print value type class. So basically we are enforcing that for any language you want to do this, you need to have a print val of p-type. And if you use show, any showable will do, because we know that any showable will be usable by show for any language. This print val mechanism allows users to, for example, format dates based on language. Same for numeric values, because in the Netherlands we use comma as a decimal separator, and in America they use a dot, which is wonderful, by the way. It's horrible. I had so many issues with that, but let's not speak about my personal gripes. Right, so the first thing I want to do right now is see if the stream's still working, because I'm not too sure about this stuff. 0 viewers. Great. Oh, I'm still quick sound check. What? It's not updated. Why haven't you updated? Great. I don't understand this. Anyway, so the first thing I want to do is move out actually make you shut up, because I can't stand this. I want to put this in a separate module and see how the encapsulation will work between the two things. I don't care about Chinese really. Actually, this should probably be an example module. This is actually part of the API, but I want to separate it too, maybe, because it needs ambiguous types. And ambiguous types is a really bad language extension. Well, really bad, it's like dubious. Oh, maybe I can actually solve that. I read something about that. Ambiguous. I've seen this. We can use Van Dep's, I think, or something. Long 0. Could not deduce. I want to experiment this with this, because I want to get rid of ambiguous types. Let's destroy this. I think it's a bit stupid about this. Yeah, sim. We do need sim. Could not do this. I 18 line. Well, I can deduce it for you. Please. No, I want to have to put this. There you go. Isn't it obvious? Should be pretty obvious. It's the same, right? Why do I need to do this? This is stupid. Right, so this little thing means equality between types. Sim is equal to temp, template apply to temp. And we know that temp is temp. This is actually the first argument, right? We do type application here, and that becomes this temp. And the second argument is language, right? And we don't care about the rest. We need sim because of quality. Yeah, you're lying to me. Like, it just like introduces more of those zero kind of things. It actually even suggests you to allow ambiguous types, but that's not good. But so the reason I'm doing it like this is because I want to have the the translation is already done with this, right? Right, this is doing the translation. I want to hide this type class. Hidden from user. The reason for that is because this should be handled by the machinery. Like, this is just machinery to make everything work together. It's not necessary for user. This one I want to expose. That's why I have a bunch of documentation for it. This one I want to expose too because it's kind of nifty. Like, most of the time you just want to do this. I even thought about how to make this shorter. Because I'm expecting a lot of people just want to call show when they're using these holes in their functions. So, well, let's not figure out how to do. Well, maybe we do. I don't like this. Would not deduce lang 0 down from the context. Right, I already changed everything. So this is annoying. It has to enter the next shell every time. And the reason I'm doing it like this is because now I can change the package and it will automatically download dependencies for me in the Nix environment. But it's slow. Yeah, I've been wanting to change this for a while. Right, so it's saying we don't know that temp 0 for all k1, k2. Temp is k1 or k2, long is k. Template k, k. Handedness. I don't understand it. Why is it of type k? Right, I understand. Now I think it's because it's not sure what instance to use in this case. Oh, right. So you need to allow ambiguous types to make it all through the call side. Let's see. I want to see how to hide a type class because they also did it in the save package. I'm stealing so much tricks from this thing. But this is awesome, right? Because this is what's open source about. You just can look at what other people doing and then see how you can use it for your own good. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to share everything on libraries. You can choose. It's like a buffet. You pick what you want. Anyway, like they have these this for example, it's not exported. We don't see it anywhere in the docs. So they have this type class that's just like completely ignored from existence. And they did another trick where they had this. Was it this package? I'm not sure anymore. They actually exported the type class but didn't allow you to implement the function it exposed. So you could know about the type of the type class, but you didn't know how to make an instance. Which is also fun. Actually, that's what I want. No, that's not what I want. I want some ambiguity in my life for reasons. So the reason this doesn't work, I think, is because it doesn't know how to select an instance in this case. And Haskell. What? This is something else, I suppose. I thought I saw somewhere a mechanism to work around this problem. This is something else. Constraint points. Maybe. Right, so this is a constraint you put in front of the equals thing. Right, so what this function does is it removes the need of calling proxy every time you call translate, which is a pain. You can just do type application. But it says that you may not know what instance to use at compile time if we do it like this. It's just not really a problem. We can Right, so it's like, oh, you have fun, right? This is my entire type signature, just fun. So this is either a text or resulting types. But then it's like, oh, but how would I ever know about temp and lang? Well, in my case, I just use type locations to figure it out. But if I do like this, can't figure out this. This is really because this is valid. But now you don't know about temp and lang. Gets upset. So what it wants from me is to see lang and sing, temp and lang to be available in the type signature, so we always know about it. But the entire point of this function is to make it available at type level. Yeah. Right, so if we allow ambiguous types now, because it fills on this first, just doesn't want to use it. Then we can see the error like percolating through to the call sites. Actually, I thought there was a type level hack about to make this work, but I don't think there is, because it just wants to have it here. That's like way more reasonable. Yeah, it doesn't know about it. So what ambiguous types does is say, okay, I may not know about you, but let's just see where you're using it. And then we're using it here, and now it says like, oh, I don't know about lang 0, I don't know about temp, I don't know what to return. That's fair enough. Okay, so let's just leave it at this. The API becomes much nicer with ambiguous types, so I'm gonna keep it. And I want to expose that. So the eventual goal of this little project is to make a bunch of my code, which is all reflex code, available on GitHub. But at the moment there's just a bunch of, what do you call it? Like language stuff integrated into it. So some, maybe an input, for example. Right. So this is fine, but this is lang widget, and lang widget means a widget which has a reader on it for language. And this message thing would actually be a type thing, right? Right, we can make that work. That's not the issue, but the issue is that this message is hard-coded in my program. So this is this massive sum type. And I can make this work for I can make this work per library, but it will be a pain in the ass to use, because I'm expecting that most people don't really care about translation at all, so they have to pattern match on this some type, and then provide a translation, which probably is just the English. I just want to make it so that I can have these strings in my widget without needing to, without being attached to it, right? Like, always be able to replace them. Yeah, I think this is a good idea. That's why I spent way too much time on this. So I want to expose this. I want to expose the message, because this is the interface to define how you want to translate stuff. So yeah, let's just type translate. what are you doing? The languages are user preference. What I'm gonna do is give a bunch of default stuff, but not for Chinese. And well, maybe like provide a default languages. English, Chinese, Dutch, for example. Maybe German too. And the reason for that is we can collect some defaults in the package. So let's move on. The print file thing, I want to expose that too. So that's about it, I think. Oh right, and there was another thing I want to make. I want to make a format. A new type format. Yeah. Format, maybe. And right, I want to implement this for dates, and I want to implement this for numbers. I'm just gonna put some constraints on the language to make it work, make it all fit together. For example, the data type package is pretty standard in Haskell. And actually it provides some reasonable formatting stuff for time, which is cool. Problem is there's no standard way of getting it. So they have this type class with an entire API. I'm just gonna steal this stuff. I mean, like, use it. Because this is pretty reasonable. What I'm gonna do is like make a kind level string, and then you need to put in these specifiers. And we'll just put the kind level string at type level. The only thing you need to do to make this work is give me a time locale. So we're gonna make a getter, I think. A lens, maybe. I did this in N. Yeah. S time local. Type. S time local. And what we're gonna do is define a length. No, I can't define length. You need to depend on length. How difficult does it get? Actually, so the lenses are just functions, right? So what I want to do is define my own little getter. Actually, maybe a micro lens. Actually, maybe we should just ask a value. Yeah. So what would be the advantage of using a lens instead of... Well, we could put it in a monad environment. That's really good. So get... Let's look at the source. I'll just steal it. Get const. Oh, it's actually really simple. Could it depend on this? It would make the library hard to use stuff. Let's just keep it simple for now. We can change the API. Nothing is permanent. Do this. I think it's reasonable to do that. Time. Proxy line. We can provide an instance format as oh. No, it's simple. Yeah. So we know the format is a non-symbol, and we can provide a print file. Right, I'm gonna do the hex here again, right? Implies. Actually, it's what they say in PureScript. The print file will imply that you have these other stuff, but I don't know about that. It's inheritance, man. It's inheritance. The type is format. Format AB. What's the value? B. So, for example, day will become day. You need to give it a day. But we put another constraint on this because they made a type class for this. Hooray! Format time T. Which is B. And the final thing we want that they didn't do is this part. We know that the print file needs to have language. It's still running. Oh, people are watching! Hooray! So get local. Oh, we can do print file now. We don't care about the language. Crap! I just realized that. Let's close this. Type. Yeah, that would be. Actually, we do care about the language. Type, probably not. Right, that's the format thing, right? The value we actually do care about. And then we can do this. Because of the constraint, right? Like format time T. Well, we have that format time P, which is this thing, because it's that, right? So you need to do like a little bit of matchup. This value is this B, which comes in the function here, which is the third argument. So we don't care about the actual type. Oh, we do care because we want to have the A, we want to have the A, but we don't need to have it at value level. We only need to have it at type level, which we have right now. So it's fine like this, it's fine, don't worry, don't worry. Get local. Get local. And then the string, which is a known symbol. Proxy. B, no, A. A is own symbol. Right, this is this spell, right? Symbol file, right? I'm doing it wrong. So now we know the format. That's the second argument here. We give it a type level. Blah blah blah, format A. So this is the time format. Maybe I should give the proper names to my. And then the val. So this is only the type of the val, and this is the actual val. Great! Where was I? I clicked something. So this is the second value, the third value is... Oh, we can just use done. Just compiles. Multiple declarations of format? What? What are you talking about? Oh! Fuck. As format. Oh, you have like a little language thing, like a rule or something. I don't know. S format. We need to have S format, man. So this instance, it's like completely wound around this thing that only exists at type level because we don't have a value constructor. No constructor. And the rest, the other stuff is just like other type classes, which we just defined here. So we need to exploit this one too. Right. So if you can provide me a language that has local, you can use this format function. Just for you can use this as format thing, and it will just magically use the print file stuff. That's what we're saying here, right? Like, if and only if your language has a local time, then you can call format time on anything that has format time implemented. So this may be a date, this may be a local time, this may be a UTC time, any of these. Great, we got code reuse. Right, I need to import data time. That's fine. Like I don't really mind depending on time. It's ubiquitous. I think it's also mostly pure Haskell. No, no. 132. No. So this is probably not pure Haskell. Ah, it's mostly. Should make a pull request. Delete Win32. Nobody likes you. Actually, this competitive time, it uses lenses and stuff. The problem is that actually it's doing pretty badly, but there is a competitor. I can't find it right now. I think it's we can use the reverse dependency thing. Time. Come on. Look at this. Ridiculous. And then, yeah, so like this this comparator to time actually depends on time, which is great. It needs to, because you need to be compatible with time. You can't like, ironically enough, we really care about time in functional programming, even though they say like, oh yeah, it's time. No, I don't think so. Mm. Like, people get really excited about lenses. You shouldn't do this. You should upstream stuff. You shouldn't make a library just for lenses. It's ridiculous. Anyway. Oh, I need to back it. Right, so we use like partial application to get the actual value inside this stuff. Probably also format. Oh no! Don't format. This shouldn't be formatted. I should complain in Brittany. Right, yeah, this is not used. These are the examples. We're ready. Let's split up this module. So I want to do two things. So I want to make like defaults, and I want to make examples. Right. Right. I want to put like, for example, I want to make an instance for Dutch time. And I will do examples later. I will just purge this stuff. Yeah, so one thing I need to do is also fix some modules. Like currently this is in my large big ass project. Oh, actually I had it there. What am I doing? What am I doing? Seriously. I'm here. Okay, cool. Just call defaults. I don't know, I usually don't care about hiding stuff, but if you want to write a library like I do right now, this will be my first library that's maybe useful. I mean, I got really excited about it. Probably should like do different stuff, but yeah, this is cool. So yeah, I want to do like a default instance for well, I want to specify a bunch of combinators at first. Maybe friends too. And the other language we don't care about. And the reason I'm doing Dutch is because I can't speak Dutch. And these I can't really speak, but whatever. So yeah, I can provide a bunch of default instances for Dutch, which is nice. I'm gonna do a quick water break right now because I'm thirsty. What are you talking about? You can't find me. Why? Okay. Oh, this is the other one. Oh, we should, by the way, totally delete this stuff now. Ugh, way too many extensions. I want to take over some screen space. Maybe like this. Raster command line TDSO. Type level DSL. I'm just gonna call it like probably lang DSL or something. I don't know. Anyway, I want to provide that instance because I did the translation. Hooray! There is, so like what I mentioned before, there is this formatting thing, right? It has this default. Well, there's the default default time local. Let me provide like one time local. Thank you. Thank you for doing translation in just English. Thank you. That didn't really help me, but whatever. Right. I'll delete it. Why do you even have it anyway? I don't think I really need this. No, the type family wouldn't work without it. Now I remember. So the type family needs to be a type. And it can't be a type level list for some reason. So, well, suppose you don't need, I never need to create it. Well, now it's no longer fixed kinded. It's just a data type thing. Oh, I suppose it's still fixed kinded. It's just not a proxy. Why are you even doing comments for this if you're not exporting it? Please. What? No. It was using it. Liar. I should actually look into what I'm using and what I'm not. I think I'm not using this. Maybe I'm actually. We should flip these. I think I can link with backticks. Oh no. Paradox. Actually kind of useful. Folks. Never do this. Ah. Oh, it's type, it's not function. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Hyperlinks identifies. Oh, it's just any identifier, so that's also functions. So yeah, I wanted to have some music too on Twitch, like compiler optimization from the algorithm, but well, maybe I could just set it up and let it play, but they will like mute your stream after a while, which is a shame. So it's lying here. This is used here. What are you talking about? But I need to export these two too. That's fine. So I'm kind of confused. I don't think I'm using. I don't understand what I'm using. Idiot. There's this thing. Thanks, Emacs, for not. It's in prelude. That's bad. Why didn't it cut it off? What the hell? Oh, it's in data ratio, that's fine. So the thing about doing this kind of stuff is that you don't want to use an operator that's used a lot, and if it's in prelude, you don't want to use it at all. Because now you need to prefix everything with it, which is a pain. Press prelude? Ah. What operators are there in prelude? Oh, I can't use this. Can we use plus? Oh no. the nice thing about the percent thing is that it's already used in formatting stuff. So this little API we made, I need to copy this too, but let's just do this. So this little API we made, like, it's kind of a hint to the programmer we're doing formatting here because it's a person. I really like this about this API. And now we're also making the other one, right? Person, year, day. Are we doing it for any language? No. Oh, that's clever. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, let's just copy this example then. Day. 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 No, we want to do day. Actually, we need to have a sensible one. I want to make it sensible. I mean, like, I want to make the examples make sense. Maybe have jokes or something, I don't know. What is person day? Oh, that's actually pretty good. We should use the... Right, so this is the American one, right? Like, it uses the local, I think? Because the Americans do the month first for some reason. So we want to use that one. Meet me. Are you free on? I wish. So we use the other one here. Wish to bake cookies. And then Chinese. No, Dutch. As format, right? Like as actually it's too long. Can we do like this as type? No. This as type? Yes. So maybe like from. This. Like I should look at the prelude to see if any of the shit is used. Format. Show is used, right? Show us. Can't use this. I was thinking about maybe display. Use this man. Forgot to expose the. What I really want is like a show. Like, can we do like this? Make like a little signifier. So the reason we are doing it as separate data is that we can provide different instances, right? That's the only reason. Right, so it doesn't know about that. It's only a type constructor. We don't care about these. We just get rid of it. Oh, we do care about. Do we do care about him? I don't think it works. I think it works through the type family. Yeah, I can delete those. And now we just... How do we expose the type family? What the fuck? Maybe it's like... How do you even expose the type family like that? What the hell? I don't know. You tell me. Right. So type family. Let's K prime. Why are you K prime? What the hell? I don't think this is necessary. You don't need to indicate it's your type. It's just complete nonsense. Go away. This is fine. How do you export type family? I suppose they will tell me. Ah, I just pre-planted with type. Okay, that's fine. Right, I need to introduce the space there too, and we'll just do the other one for not space. Maybe do like person. That doesn't work either, right? Huh? Who would have known? It does need to be like a. Seems kind of stupid, but whatever. So this is assigning a variable. Because like the other way is you're assigning like polykinds variables to the type. Polykinds. What? It's okay. Not goed al. So in case of kind format you're doing this, and in case of kind. Right, that's why you need polykines, okay. I thought, why would you need to put this kind into a type level variable, you're not even using it. But, as they pointed out so nicely, if you don't make this variable polykinded, then it doesn't understand that you're pattern matching on the kind itself. Which is ridiculous. Yeah, we can delete this one out. I'm not using that, I think. Anyway, so like deleting code is always good, no matter what language you're in. You can get rid of it and keep the same functionality. Good for you. Profit, right? I want to copy the type family actually. And right, yeah, like make that one. We'll just. I suppose we'll just do that. What the G done. It's a thing. This exists. Don't worry about it. Right, so what we want to introduce here is another literal that is a space. But to format, what are you to format is a single format? Yes, that is. That's good. So by default we add a space, and if you don't want space, you use a complicated one. A complicated one, I want to make it simpler. Is it this? No, I don't like that. Equals. Dot. Yeah. Dot. Now this is confusing because this is used to you can prepend. You can prepend the module name, and it also becomes dot. Well, actually, Beam is doing it. Why shouldn't I? It's like PHP, right? We're using the dot now. We're using that for formatting. Beautiful. I was thinking maybe I can express this dot one, or maybe I can express this one in the form of that one. But I don't know how to do that easily. Let's just keep it like this. Yeah, I should be going on a water break, but I'm kind of addicted to Haskell now. Not me. Never start with Haskell, man. You get addicted and you'll never stop. The problem is the feedback loop is so short. Like even with my stupid shell thing, which is slowing me down, I'm still having like just writing super correct code now. It's the way of Seeker. What is that? Typing the code in the view. Best blog post ever. Oof. We are in the church, man. Right. Let's actually see how this works. The crappy way with GTI. It sucks. I think I can just enter it now. Import it. Maybe. So I have no idea why my GTI setup is so annoying to use. No, we don't have form, we have S4. That's format. We're not even exposing format, this is stupid. Let's replace it. Let's like rename this one DSL format and the other one we keep naming format. Yeah, it's more primitive. Let's do that. I'm getting a message from a friend. Okay. And now we replace SDSL for, format with T. Done. Now, well, we don't have the consistency anymore, but this is shorter. Come on. Nice. Okay. Still not, like, it needs to compile first and then I can use the GTI stuff. I think it has something to do with Nix. Like I'm knee deep into Nix. I can't program without it anymore because of reflex. What is up? Ja, ja.
Wil je nog een loop gemaakt?
Lukt zo. Let's fix this type error and then like I have to quit to do live stuff. Anyway. Ugh, this is obnoxious. And I'm gonna fix it because I'm streaming. I've been staring at this for months. Well, normally, like, I just do other stuff, like start opening a chess app or something. DSL format time. What a. Didn't I replace you? Format. So what I did was just replace all the format instances here, which are needed to do the type of stuff. DSL format, and then I replaced the other format, which I wanted to call format, or well, I call something else. I think I call it as format, with format, and now we can have this short one in the API because like the other one is not even exposed, right? It's just machinery. You don't really care about the name. So just give it too long and annoying name. Alright, I deleted that just now, I suppose. How embarrassing. So we can do this if we have a known symbol in there. We can put naturals in there and it won't work. And if the language has a time local. And it only works for formats. Right, I was thinking like, can't I use this for naturals too? But I can't because it is it's too strict. I mean, it has overlapping instances if I make this for naturals too. I was thinking, okay, I'll make this one format thing and then have a bunch of things be based on that, such as formatting time, formatting integers or doubles. I mean, maybe formatting money. Just they're like the money package is not that. I shouldn't implement that anyway. Well, it's fine for dates. Maybe we should rename it the date format then. Well, actually, we can keep it like this, and then yeah, right. We can do like double, right? We can give another instance, and it's just like directly on double. Double, and this will not clash with it. No, actually, it will. It will because we don't know if the user will ever decide. Well, maybe it won't. I don't know. I don't care. Like, let's not think about this right now because day is more important. Way more important than the numbers, for me at least. I'm building basically a rostering system, and if I use, I should delete some of these, at least this one. Oh, we don't need this. No, we don't need that. We don't need that either. Don't need that. Need this? No. What the hell, man? I need data counts now. I need data counts everywhere now. In fact, I think I have it enabled by default. This is just so stupid. Oh, maybe not because it's slow. Well, it's slower. It won't be that slow. Do you have it? Well, I'm gonna add it. I don't have it. I should add it because this is gonna percolate to everything. Oh, I know what this was. Oh my. This is not format. This is the time one. It's also called format probably. Being an idiot. But that's fine. Oh no, I'm being an idiot on stream. Right, that's stupid. Thanks, type system, for making me less stupid. Oh, I need to, of course, enable time values to do type friendly stuff. So about language extension, Haskell, basically the language has been the same for the last 10 years or something. But researchers just continuously keep on developing these extensions and you can enable them per module, which is awesome. Like it's, well, you know how I just said how open source is a buffet, you can pick and choose what you want. The same for this. Beginners will use fewer extensions, and as you get more experience with Haskell, you learn and realize that these extensions are awesome, and then you start using them, right? Except for ambiguous types, because it's shouldn't use that. Right, so that's another thing I'm considering doing is spaces. I would just do this. I'm not sure if it's legal, but it's better match on the other one. I'm gonna translate spaces. That's stupid. Right, now it works. It's magical. So this is the type class I just defined, right? And it's like saying, oh, you want to use this in English? So another thing about this, right? Like we can have English, but we can also have American, for example. Because like currently it is the case that English and American people can kind of understand each other. Good. Like clearly. But in the next 50 years, or 100 years, or 200 years, this is going to change. And I'm expecting that these languages kind of going to diverge. And then it would be good that you can just sort of, you know, change translations later. Oh, I didn't. Right, so this is also a bit slow sometimes. That's local time English. Well, that's one that's easy, right? Because we can choose the default one. Also can use const. So actually I should look at the Dutch one. It's better. format stuff. It's fine. Let's push this back. And you're almost a real function. So const means just drop it. I suppose we don't even need to do dollar sign. Done! Actually, I went a lot less far this time than I would have hoped. Oh, it's doing that. Oh god. There's no need. Like the time module is really nicely designed. It doesn't really clash with anything. So you can just import it. Back then I was really afraid. Well, in this module it's horrible. The way this is set up, it's just like there's no way to split anything. So the entire app, all the types get like converged in this large module, which pick those types apart and then make proper localizations for them. So if I change anything to this, like I need to recompile everything, which is a problem at 15,000 lines of code. It just becomes slow. And I like, this doesn't really solve that, but at least I don't have to do it for every type at the same place. Does that make sense? Like I can split it up better. Right, this is the way, this is what I said before. You can expose these classes without exposing their functions. And by doing that, you can kind of well, I basically want to do this. So this is the entire module. Great. Maybe I should write docs. No, like what I'm gonna do first is make this work with the rest of the app, and if it works with my app, I can start thinking how to upstream it. Well, like it will be really easy to upstream, but if I make it work with everything inside my app, I'm reasonably sure it will work for most apps, and I can also see how it performs and stuff like that. So I don't want to upstream it right now, but I'm gonna do it soon, maybe tomorrow. Today I spent most time just dealing with Twitch. Right, and this is what I wanted, right? So it's saying, oh, there's no instance for non-symbol, blah blah blah. This is so much better than what I had as a type error, because it would just say this large sum type, something broken, figure it out. And that's really good. And now it just says like, okay, you need to translate these things. Good luck. There's no non-symbol message that's blah blah blah. It even says like in which language. Oh. And like, what's also nice is if you change these, like this, it will start complaining like, I can't find it. Right. Are you free on? So you just like do a search, like, you free, or like, are you? Oh, found it. Right, so I want to enter GTI and then see if these days do the thing right. Oh, it needs a space. No, you don't need a space. You're lying. You already baked it in there. So these symbols are kind of a pain, but what do you do? Actually, like, these symbols, they can change depending on language. Like, I know, for example, Chinese has different reading signs, and they don't really do spaces either. So, like the space combinator, like this, is probably not what you want to do. Actually, it's too lax. But I don't care about Chinese right now. This is just a start. I know there are edge cases I haven't considered. Nice, we have less things to import. So what's important is that I don't have to depend on all these extensions. So it's actually pretty simple API, right? Okay. I think it's finishing. Yeah. Going with the stream anyway. No viewers. That's fine. I think I should look more into sound, but that's for another time. I already spent way too much time to set this up. I just want to have a begin. Perhaps dump it on YouTube, see how it goes. Hmm. What are you even doing? My laptop seems to be really taking its time. It's like, need a more powerful PC to do this probably. Because I'm telling it to just go all out with compiling, and this is probably not good for streaming. Yeah, I need to go. Oh god, this is just the first. Why are you so slow, man? Hmm. Right, so the screen is actually just seeing how my computer is running. Sending and receiving a lot of information, a lot of stuff in memory. Big as memory, so it's not really a problem. And this is the CPU speed. And then this is just h-stop, showing what's using so much memory. And the CPU of is like ridiculous. What the hell? Why is it so expensive to run a stream? Anyway, I'm just gonna do this. I don't think this is the right one. Okay, like I'm just gonna quit now. I'm pretty sure this works, so. Yeah, I need to go. Goodbye. I'll commit. It's time to do so. Okay. Goodbye.